War teaches harsh lessons, but some of them are quietly brilliant. While soldiers and civilians shivered through the bitter winters of the Second World War, one method quietly transformed freezing homes into surprisingly warm shelters, and it had nothing to do with piling on more blankets. This isn't just old-timey advice, it's a clever trick that modern thinkers and history lovers can still use today. During the Second World War, energy was scarce and fuel was rationed. People couldn't just crank up heaters or light endless fires. Yet somehow some homes stayed remarkably warm. The secret lay not in blankets or heavy clothing, but in a clever way of harnessing the home itself as a heater. The walls weren't just barriers, they became energy reservoirs. By adding layers of insulation behind radiators and even behind walls themselves, the heat that usually disappeared into cold surfaces was trapped, reflecting warmth back into rooms. It was the simplest principle, but few thought to exploit it. Homes of that era were drafty, with thin walls and single-pane windows. Most families instinctively added more blankets or layered clothing, but Second World War innovators realized heat loss wasn't a surface problem. It was a structural one. Redirecting heat from its natural escape routes made every ember, every candle, and every small stove work exponentially harder. You might assume this was a high-tech invention, but it was astonishingly low-tech. Families used materials that were easy to find: cardboard, tin foil, wool scraps, and even old newspapers. Placed strategically, these items trapped heat where it mattered most. Behind stoves, radiators, or walls, reflective surfaces bounced warmth back into the room, rather than letting it seep out. Even soldiers on the front lines experimented with this principle. In temporary shelters, walls were lined with whatever they could carry: thin metal sheets, blankets, and even mud mixed with straw. These layers acted like a mini thermal battery, storing heat during the day and slowly releasing it at night. By the time winter fully set in, those who used these methods were notably warmer than their peers, despite wearing the same clothing and sleeping in the same thin blankets. It's hard to argue with the comfort of a thick blanket, but you know, blankets can only do so much. They trap heat around the body, but if the surrounding room is losing warmth faster than your body can generate it, they only slow the freeze. They don't solve it. WWII. Ingenuity focused on stopping the heat from leaving in the first place. A well-insulated wall, lined with reflective or dense materials, created a room that felt warmer instantly. Families reported that rooms heated by these techniques often required fewer fires or stove use, which in wartime was both safer and more fuel-efficient. Blankets became the comfort, but the real warmth came from structural awareness. WWII was full of "why didn't I think of that" moments, and this was one of the quietest but most effective. What's remarkable is how accessible this knowledge was. Every wartime guide hinted at it, but the mainstream never fully grasped it. The most successful households didn't rely solely on rationed fuel. They relied on understanding their space. Reflective barriers, thoughtful layering of walls, and strategic heat trapping turned ordinary rooms into surprisingly cosy retreats. This wasn't just about comfort, it was survival. Cold was a silent killer during World War II, leading to illness, frostbite, and even death in extreme cases. Every little improvement in insulation made a tangible difference. It gave families and soldiers the energy to endure, to fight, and to survive. Here's the twist. The principle works today. No ration cards required. While we're spoiled with central heating and insulated windows, many homes still leak heat like sieves. By looking at walls as part of your heating strategy, you can amplify your warmth without cranking up a thermostat. Simple reflective panels behind radiators, thoughtful layering of insulation in attics or basements, and understanding where heat escapes can transform the efficiency of any modern home. It's a lesson in smart survival, in seeing what's right under your nose, and in using the architecture around you instead of just piling on more layers. The World War II approach wasn't glamorous, but honestly, it was brilliant. There's a reason, really, why historians and survival enthusiasts keep finding themselves drawn to these forgotten warfront strategies. World War II wasn't just about battles and weapons. It was about everyday life under extreme conditions. Every single rationed resource, every improvised technique, and every heat-saving trick tells a story of ingenuity. The insulation trick is one of those hidden gems that shows how human creativity can thrive, even in the darkest times. Understanding this method isn't just academic, it's practical. It teaches us to look at old problems with new eyes, to value efficiency over brute force, and to respect lessons learned in extreme conditions. The same mindset that saved homes during World War II can inform how we design modern spaces, survive unexpected power outages, or even just spend a cosy winter night without over-relying on electricity. So, next time you find yourself piling on blankets, pause. Think like a World War II household or a frontline soldier. Look at the walls, the heat sources, and the paths where warmth escapes. A little strategic reflection, some layering, and you'll feel a difference that no blanket alone could give. History isn't just a story, it's a toolkit. And some of the best tools are surprisingly simple, like redirecting heat instead of chasing it. Those who mastered it in World War II weren't just surviving winters. They were rewriting the rules of comfort and endurance. If this episode warmed your curiosity as much as a World War II living room, don't keep it to yourself. Hit subscribe and share this discovery. The Forgotten Warfronts uncovers the overlooked strategies, the hidden genius, and the survival tricks that history didn't shout about, but that you can use today. Stay curious, stay resourceful, and keep uncovering the secrets that history almost forgot.